Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, buongiorno, buonasera, dzień dobry, dobry wieczór, kakiela, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. J. Slater case, cap on backwards, plain white background. It is the Sunday roast part two, the main course, the main course. If you missed it, we had the starter, which was a quick roasting of the numbskull, Pope Chris I, the imposter, the guy that recommends Googling but can't actually Google himself. If you missed that, that was the starter. Main course, you're expecting some delicious roast lamb. It's not coming. It's not coming. We go back north of the border for some extra roasted haggis, which should tell you, perhaps, it might be gobshite from Glasgow that's on the menu today, Jimmy. Indeed it is. It is gobshite. So much to go through here. So the main course, the main roasting will be the dunce from Drumchapel itself. I want to dwell a little bit on how do we get this absolute mania now from Janie, all wrapped up in her Scottish heritage and the rest of it, when she clearly isn't. I am just fascinated by the bogus Scot from Sunderland that ain't Scottish. Why? Why the insistence that it's Scotland, Scotland, Scotland? I don't know. But just to outline, first of all, before we get roasting here, Gobshite is from Sunderland. All of her youth spent in Sunderland, went straight from school into dental college, so didn't go to university. Her higher education as such isn't there. It's school, dental college. And I think that explains a lot. Because when you do study at a high level at university, you do, whatever your subject, get to analyze in great depth a body of knowledge, whatever you're studying. And we can see that is lacking. It's definitely lacking from Gobshite. I have no doubts whatsoever that her professional qualifications are absolutely fine. But I just find it interesting. She went from school to dental school, and so there's a great chunk of knowledge, of academic training that isn't there. My point is, this all happens in England, way into her 20s. Gobshite is Gobshite from Sunderland, from the northeast. She ain't got no connection. And even when she says she moves to Glasgow, it's only officially. That's because mum and dad have an address there. Gobshite's still in England. Dental school, or maybe even her first practice. So for half her life, Gobshite anywhere near Scotland. Nothing Scottish about her at all. But we keep getting this Scotland, Scotland, Scotland thing. Why? Why the pretense? And we get into the whole clan thing because this amused me. And this is why Janie needs a bit of a roasting here. She goes on about the Elliott clan. There's nothing particularly Scottish about the name Elliott. I mean, we had a starter where I roasted Pope Chris about him saying, well, just Google it. Okay, let's just Google Elliott. The name Elliott is actually derived from the Old English personal name Elwold. Yeah? Elliott, it says. English and Scottish surname. English comes first. English and Scottish surname with multiple plausible points of origin. There is nothing uniquely or particularly Scottish about the name Elliott, but we have Janie banging on about the Elliott clan and the Elliott roots and the Elliott this. Why? Why the whole negation of the English past? Why the fully embracing of the Scottish past when she isn't Scottish? I don't know. It's an odd one. Here's another odd one. Gobshite, talking about her late dad, says he always drummed into me and my brother as young kids. Honesty is the best policy. Is she being sarcastic here, knowing that she is the least honest person that we have in our debate out here? Yeah, the late dad drummed into the young kids. Honesty is the best policy. The poor guy's turning in his grave as I read this out. And she says, I have lived true to this legacy all of my life. Yeah, all of your life. What, including the moment you went into that tribunal against Matt Burlow You presented your honesty, you presented your truth, you presented your best policy, and the tribunal found you were wrong on all four accounts. You had presented a load of, what were the words? Vague and inconsistent testimony. It wasn't described as honest. No, on the contrary. So poor Daddy turning in his grave because the two kids, well, I don't know so much about the brother, but certainly in Janie's case, an absolute disaster of a being that one would never associate the word honest with at all. Wearing the Spanish shirt today in honor of the words that we saw the other day from Janie's post, which said Viva Espagna. Viva Espagna. I commented, where does the G come into the Viva Espagna and why? Why not Viva Espagna? Yeah? N with a tilde. Why the G? But it became a bit of a joke in our community because I said if we're going with Viva Espagna, shouldn't we also congratulate Franga for France's victory? And Englangd with a G, doing very well. Congratulations on a fine win. A little bit of luck there against Norge last night. I thought Norge played particularly well. It was a tough game, but Englangd came through. And Englangd, if we're going to add a G to every country now, will be playing Argentina in the semi-final. Hand of God goal, maybe a repeat coming up. I don't know. But yeah, it goes unexplained. Why has Gobshite insisted that it is Espagna and not Espagna? It's an odd one. But anyway, I love to keep milking a joke. So every time I mention a country now with a G just thrown in there, just bear with me. Eventually, I will drop that one. But yes, Gobshite from Glasgow says Viva Espagna. Now, I would say, fingers crossed here, that Gobshite from Glasgow is fully backing Argentina to beat England because every team, it seems, that Gobshite backs, actually get knocked out. Morocco, oh, it's all Morocco. Yeah, she's on board with Morocco. Oh, sorry, Morocco. She was backing Morocco. They crashed out. Well, of course, she was backing Scotland. Scotland crashed out. Morocco crashed out. Oh, then she was all Norge because the Scots have such a deep-rooted connection with Norge. Except the Scots have a much deeper-rooted connection with the Sassenachs, if you want to have a look at bloodlines. But anyway, every country that Gobshite backs crashes out. So fingers crossed she is going for Argentina in the the semi-final. Right. Let's move on to this accusation that keeps popping up repeatedly from Gobshite about a lie I am supposed to have told, which I never did, and I've dealt with it in the past. I'll deal with it again now. Oh, sorry, I just want to go back to this Elliott clan thing. By the way, any family name can be a clan name. So if you look it up, there's a Smith clan. There's a Smith Tartan. If you look it up, I don't know, maybe you can see today a Hamza Yusuf Tartan and a Hamza Yusuf clan. Just because it's an Elliott clan doesn't mean it's deep rooted into Scotland at all. There have been Smiths. Smith is considered like the archetypal English last name. There have been Smiths, clans of Smiths in Scotland for hundreds and hundreds of years, 500-600 years at least. So yeah, this whole the Elliott clan proves we're Scottish. Doesn't at all. It's much more complex than that. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to go on to the lie that I'm supposed to have told about Janie and her Aikido club and me contacting the Aikido club. I contacted the wrong club. I contacted the one in Edinburgh. Why did I do that? Because I identified the wrong Jane Elliott earlier on. So if we go back to the beginning of the story, when Mark Smith and I were trying to find who is this Jane Elliott person, I'm going to blame Mark Smith on this because originally he sent me in the direction of some kind of legal person in London, which was totally wrong. But when we read the initial profile of the London Elliott person, it seemed to fit. And then I found this one in Edinburgh, and this is what made me think. This is going way, way back, early doors. Um, that Gobshite was from Edinburgh because I came across this article and it said the director of a construction firm, this is in Edinburgh, has been sentenced to 2 years in jail following an investigation into her company's finances by HM Revenue and Customs. Avril Jane Elliott. Avril Jane Elliott. It is not Gobshite. But I mean, back then I didn't know. I just saw Jane Elliott. I checked Elliott's spelled correctly, Elliott. Yeah, from Gilberstown, Edinburgh, was found to have received 275,000 she wasn't entitled to. Now, when I read that, you know, conspiracist that I am, I did think, oh, hello, here's a Jane Elliott, Elliott, Scottish, Edinburgh, massive fraud case. Does that fit the profile of the Jane Elliott? Yeah, did to me. So when I'd seen the Gobshite was saying, oh, I'm in the Aikido club, I'm in the Aikido club, and I thought, okay, if she's the Edinburgh gal, let's check, does Edinburgh have an Aikido club? It does. It does. And so I was like, okay, this is looking good. We've got Jane Elliott spelt correctly. We've got someone that fits the profile, you know, big lawbreaker. To me, that made sense. That made sense. All conspiratorial, all allegedly, all speculation, but it was all fitting a pattern. And when on her Facebook page, Elliot said, I'm in the Aikido club, and Edinburgh has an Aikido club, I thought, bingo, that's the one. So, yes, I did contact the Aikido club to find out if the person that is lying, defaming, and spouting absolute abusive, harassing nonsense online is the one in the Aikido club. Well, I found out it wasn't. Yeah, I had made a mistake. Wrong Aikido club. And I was told no one by that name here. That's fine. A mistake was made. Let's get to the accusation here. Because if we go to what Gobshite actually says, in a recent post, she says, what did he say about contacting the wrong club in Edinburgh? She asks the question, what did he, that's me, say about contacting the wrong club in Edinburgh? Well, I said I contacted the wrong club in Edinburgh. I mean, that's it. Gobshite says, funny then, isn't it, how he posted this picture and more taken from the Facebook page of my Glasgow club. Well, no, it's not funny at all. Because then, when the penny dropped, Gobshite, that you're actually from Glasgow, and I saw that Glasgow also had an Aikido club, I posted some of the pictures because what looked like a sack of potatoes rolling around on the floor, it looked like you. And I thought, yeah, could well be that this heap of shite, what looks like a heap of shite rolling around on the Aikido floor in Glasgow, looks remarkably similar to the HOS that we see every day on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. That was another conjecture that I made. So when you say funny, isn't it, how he posted this picture and more taken from the Facebook page of my Glasgow club? No, it's not funny. It's just me saying, okay, I got the wrong club initially. Now it's the Glasgow club. There's a picture I'm pretty sure is you. Yeah. He has me down also as the woman lying down on the mat. Yeah, I did. I thought that was you. Yeah. And then you say it was not a trial, Dunce. I never said it was a trial. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about the tribunal. Well, it was a trial for you. I didn't say it was a court trial. Well, what were my exact words? I said, I said, how did your May trial go? That's it. I didn't say it was a court trial. Your trial. I felt that you, to a certain extent, were being tried, that you were being challenged. It was a trial for you. So learn how to use words correctly. If you'd had that university education, you might have learnt this, but you never did you, Gobshite? Yeah. Um, then she says, wouldn't you like to know the findings in a recent court case with Burlow? No, doesn't interest me at all. The only thing that interests me, Gobshite, is how you made the most god-awful mistake of challenging Burlow and losing 4-0 in that tribunal, which ended up being a right trial and error session for you. That's all I'm interested in. And there's way more to come on him. I don't care. I'm only interested in how you failed against him at the time you took him on in that tribunal. What else does she have to say here? There's some comment about the clan thing. Oh, the spelling. Let's just get to that. Because one key question that Gobshite throws out there is, why is it that I only correct her spelling or spellings of the Dunce AG members and not of my own foul play group? This is a very simple one to answer. Haven't you figured this out, Gobshite? I don't bother correcting the errors in spelling of people that don't criticize my spelling. Everyone makes errors of spelling. Everyone makes errors of grammar, some more than others. There's a simple rule. If people like you attack my level of writing, spelling, grammar, etc., I will, of course, reply tit for tat. And I enjoy doing it. But the people in the foul play group don't attack me for any errors, so why would I bother attacking them? It's not a question, Gobshite, of pointing out every single individual error of writing. That would be tedious. And what would it achieve? However, if someone like you wants to portray me as being, I don't know, grammatically challenged or in some way deficient in my spelling, then I will just reply and point out all of your gross errors, a la Viva Espagna. Come on, Spain. Viva Espagna indeed. All right, so the answer there, I'll repeat it one more time for you, Gobshite, just give you one more little bit of roasting here. I'm not going to attack the spelling errors of people that support me because they don't bother to attack me with that. It's the law of tit for tat. If you attack me, I will attack you back. And this, Gobshite, explains why I made a point of referencing where you used to work, because when Luggy did the same for me and you cheered him on, I thought, let's just do tit for tat. Give you a taste of your own medicine. Did you like it? Not really. But the hypocrite that you are, you've never come out and said, oh my, now I've learned, if I cheer on someone else's doxing, I'd better get ready to receive a dose myself. Honesty is the best policy, said ye dear old daddy. Where did your honesty go, Janie? Vanished. Let's leave it there. Dessert coming up, and it might not be a roasting. Might feature Luggy, but might not be a roasting. How could that be? You'll see. Hasta más tarde. I'll see you later.